Hey there, in this tutorial I will show you 7 steps you can follow to make better Afrobeat melodies. If you're new, hit the subscribe button down below and let's get started. For step 1, you need to use good chords. Chords are the foundation of your melodies. If you don't have good chords, it's almost impossible to get good melodies. You can use my MIDI chord pack with over 40 chords for Afrobeat and my piano. You can get it from the link in the description below. So right here in this channel, you have an electric piano, all right? It could be any plugin, okay? But I'm going to use this to play my chords, all right? Now, if you struggle with chords, I seriously recommend you get the MIDI chord pack. It's really easy to use and it's all in key C. Okay, so that is all the white keys of your MIDI keyboard. So it's easy for you to play around with it. So I'm going to come to the piano roll. Okay, so I have some ideas right here. So I'm going to, let's say, try this and see how it sounds. I like those chords. Let's see this. Okay, I think I like this. I'll move on with this. Okay, so these are really nice chords. So now that we've gotten a good chord progression, that takes us to the next step, which means we need a good chord layer. And now you can layer your chords with a couple of different sounds, but I would recommend you layer chords with an atmosphere or soft sounding synth to make your chords come alive. Right. So for that, I'm going to use Analog Lab. So I prefer to use Analog Lab because it has lots of nice sounding atmosphere sounds. Okay, so I'm going to come to explore. Okay, so I'm going to use keys. So let's say keys. I want bells. So I'll be using this preset, this Mallet Dream preset. When I left click and hold, you can hear it has some ambience to it, right? So it has some texture. So when I just copy my chords and paste it in here. Now you want to adjust your volume when it comes to layering sounds, okay? You don't want to leave the volume the way it is. And you can also try adjusting the octave. Let's take it to a higher octave. Let's try a much lower octave. And then we can, spread some notes out for the chord voicing. And when I turn off the layer, and when I turn on the layer, you can hear it adds more presence to the production, right? So for step 3, we're going to need a counter melody. A counter melody is one of the easiest ways to add rhythm to your chords. When choosing sounds for your counter melody, use sounds that are a bit different from your chords and your chord layer so that it can easily stand out and also sound full. In my case, I'm going to be using a grand piano. So all I have to do is just copy the chords, then paste it in here. I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it a little bit so that it has a rhythm. Let me move it here further and see. Yeah, so I'll reduce the length. Okay, so I don't want it to encroach into the next chord. Let me take it to a high octave and see how it sounds. Of course, you can also spread the notes around. So let's have this right here. So for the 4th step, we're going to need to add ambient melodies. These melodies or sounds that have some echo or texture can give more depth to your production. Okay, can add more depth. These sounds can These sounds can also be ear candy, okay? They can come and go at certain points in your production or certain parts of your song. You can use two or more ambient melodies at various points in your production. They are really easy to use, and let me show you how to use it. Okay. So I'm also going to rely on Analog Lab for this. I'm going to just clone this. All right. So I'm going to come to Explore. All right. I'm going to come to Types. Let's head into Atmosphere. Here's some sounds. Let's use that sound. Come to piano roll. So with this, you can just keep it really simple. So let's add another layer of ambient melody. We'll also clone this again. So we're going to look for another one. I like the sound. So let's see. So I can just have this sound repeating. Don't take it to a high octave and see how it sounds. Let me reduce the note. For step 5, you need to use pads. In most songs, there's a certain point that it feels like it's a bit louder or more exciting, right? Many beginners tend to assume that what they did there was just increase the volume, and that's typically not the case. That's usually not the case, all right? What usually happens there is that a pad just came in, okay, and that pad can help elevate the feeling of that section. The kind of pads used in Afrobeat are typically soft sounding pads or soft sounding synths. All right. So I'm just going to use this preset from Triton Extreme. You can see how soft it sounds, right? Now, it doesn't need to be Triton Extreme. Many other plugins, even Analog Lab, has lots of great sounding soft synths. Okay. So I'm going to copy my chords and paste it in here. You can hear the presence already. If I turn it off, and if I turn it on, you can see it's adding some presence there, right? For the sixth step, which is optional, you can use vocal chops. All right, this can add some detail and add more expression to your productions and your melodies. So this vocal chop is from Splice. All right, so just going to have it in here, reduce the volume. You can also make it match our project tempo. Right click, let's make it 2 bars, stretch. And we can even tweak it a little bit, right? Let's say reduce the main voice and then have the ambience, that is the tail, increase the volume. For step 7, we can use bass. Bass is another source to make your melody sound full and also make your production come alive. So we're going to use Triton Extreme for the bass. Okay, we come to bass. I already have some favorite presets in right here. There is the Wicked Sign bass. Okay, so I can just come to the piano roll and follow the chords. So if I play it and listen, let me take it to a low octave. Afrobeat is quite flexible. It's a really flexible genre. Sometimes you don't need all of this, and sometimes you may need a little bit more than this to get a full sounding production. But most times, these steps I just showed you will take you there 90% of the time. You can also consider adding maybe guitars. Okay, maybe you bring in a live guitar, saxophones, all right, solos. You solo some instruments. You can add some flutes. So there are ideas you can keep adding to refine this idea I just showed you. Okay, but with this, I'm certain you won't struggle with having full sounding melodies again in your production. Okay, if you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe. See you soon. Cheers.